Let's bring in House Minority Whip Eric Cantor. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Republicans seem to have some Democratic support in going against the earmarks, and it does contradict the president's campaign, which you will quickly tell me campaign promised to get rid of earmarks. But what he's saying is that's the old budget, that's the Bush-inherited budget, let's move on, we'll fix it in the next round. What's wrong with his argument, given the economic crisis?
I think, Andrew, you answered the question. We are in a severe economic crisis, and we're talking over $400 billion. I mean, this is real money to people. This is taxpayer dollars. And, you know, we've been fighting to say, look, let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's clean up this process. So I encourage the president to stick to his guns and deliver on his promise to really rout out the wasteful pork barrel spending in this town.
Let me ask you about the health care reform forum yesterday. I was interviewing Senator Bennett earlier, and he is co-sponsor along with Senator Wyden on the Democratic side of a bill and thinks that the president's doing the right thing. Why do you disagree with that? Presumably you do.
Well, Andrea, there's no question that we've got some reform we need in the healthcare system, but right now it is all about jobs. Let's remember, we just had the report out this morning, an additional 650,000 people out of work. We have an extraordinary unemployment rate at 8.1%. So we can't ignore that. And as the Dow continues to plunge, you've got people, their college savings, their life savings, their retirement savings, all evaporating. We need to focus on what's important right now. And the problem is, Andrea, in this budget that has been presented to Congress and we'll be deliberating on the next several weeks, the priorities are just not there. We're talking about taxing the job creators that we need to get going again so that people can see a financial security in their future. We're talking about taxing small businesses. That's where the jobs are going to come from. So we Republicans in the House said, look, you know, we have a plan. I personally handed that plan to President Obama and said, work with us. We need to see some prioritization here. The sky is not limitless right now, and there seems to be some type of obstinance on the part of the congressional Democrats that they don't realize the pain that's out there.
Well, at the same time, the president did campaign on tax increases for higher income people, and there is support in our poll, the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll. There is considerable support for higher income taxes to pay for health reform and to try to eventually bring down the deficit.
Andrea, I assure you, though, you look out there and talk to the American people, poll them, whatever it is you like, if they would support taxing small businesses right now, 50% of the people who are going to be impacted by higher tax rates under the Obama budget are small business people. We know that 70% of the jobs in this country come from small businesses and entrepreneurs. Let's go where the jobs are. Let's remember what we've got to do first, and that is get this economy going again.
Let me ask you about the state of the Republican Party. Is Michael Steele the leader? Is Rush Limbaugh the leader? Let me share with you and our viewers what David Plouffe, former campaign manager for Barack Obama, wrote in the Washington Post on Wednesday. Limbaugh's voice could be heard in the words of new Republican quarterback Eric Cantor, that's you, who says the GOP strategy will be just say no, not for substantive or philosophic reasons, but to advance Limbaugh's strategy for failure. Independent voters, those who find the ways of Washington particularly toxic, could be forgiven for wondering whether the Republican minority has any clue what is happening in our country.
Well, you know, Andrea, look, that is an inaccurate quote. I can't even respond to that individual because I never said that. We are a party about ideas, and this is what I said on the stimulus debate and in the budget debate. We have a plan. We are offering up to this president and congressional Democrats a plan on how to get the jobs going again in this country. It's not about individuals right now. It is about trying to get this economy back on track, and I'd ask the author there to try and assist us in heading the congressional Democrats back on the path, as well as the administration. There are a lot of things that are laudable that everyone wants to do right now, but first things first, we got to get this economy back on track. We've got to grow jobs, not tax the very people and individuals and businesses who are going to create those jobs so that we can get prosperity back again.
Is Michael Steele doing your party any favors?
Well, Andrea, Michael Steele was just elected as the chairman of the RNC. He's got a big job in front of him. Obviously, we've experienced some electoral losses over the last several cycles. Listen, I mean, he's got a job ahead of him. But I think the American people right now are looking for leadership, not partisanship. And the distraction that, some in the administration have continued to pose on individuals having to do with maybe ideas that they're not about, frankly, I think are misguided. We need to be about ideas. We need to be about solutions and how we get this economy back on track.
Well, point well taken, but if the American people are not looking for partisanship, what do you say to Rush?
Well, listen, I don't understand the question other than the fact that Rush Limbaugh is someone with ideas. He believes in principles that have been part of who he is and what he's been about, and frankly, what I'm about. I believe in the common sense conservative principles behind the concept of free markets and entrepreneurialism, and the way back from a recession is to lift taxes off of middle-class families and small businesses. Those are the type of things and ideas that many of us subscribe to. And just because you don't believe in those ideas doesn't necessarily mean you should attack the individuals.
Okay, Eric Cantor, a rising star in the Republican Party.